To American football, and Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, a big theme among some of the contenders is new offensive coordinators. We talked about Baltimore, and the Eagles have one as well. And Sean Mannion, the Packers QB coach last season. Here's Jalen Hurts talking about working with the new OC, Mr. Mannion.
Comfort comes with the repetition. Comfort comes with the teaching and the time on task to what you're doing. And so you just want to continue to build in those areas. I think it's been the same for me every year when it comes to coaching points, intention, vision. What are we really trying to drive what we're doing? Obviously a different voice, different perspective of the game. And every OC has added their own flavor on it.
And we'll see. Let's see Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts speaking at the podium. Can you show a little bit more respect, Cowherd? I know you're down on him. I know you don't have him as top 10 in the league, and Sam Darnold passed him.
I'm still, it's interesting. I was looking at that thing we had yesterday about merchandise sales. Darnold was only 49th in the NFL. Now, that was above Dak. But it's like Darnold just won a Super Bowl, and people still are just like, it's not that interesting.
Well, did he win the Super Bowl, or did the Seahawks? He was the winning quarterback. But was he even like a top 3 memory in the Super Bowl?
I mean, Kenneth Walker.
Seahawks defense, and Patriots ineptitude. Patriots ineptitude.
All right, that's fair. I thought he was big in the run-up to the Super Bowl, though.
I'm going to talk about Jalen Hurts. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about here. I mean, that's it. That's all they talk about the Eagles. They took a little bit of a detour on Sam Darnold and ended the segment and went back to soccer. Like I said, everyone's all about soccer right now. So I love this, and I've said this for so many different reasons, but I want to unpack this even further. I have a great Eagles video that's coming out on Sunday that I'm really excited to post because it's completely different. It's a similar conversation. It involves A.J. Brown a little bit, but it's done in a completely different way. It's nothing to do with stats or anything like that. It's just a different angle and a different take on this conversation that I really had this aha moment, and I think it's going to land. I'm really excited to have it. So, definitely, be on the lookout for that video on I believe Sunday. But what I'm so excited is 'cause I'm recording this video. It's like the middle of the night right now. I'm recording this video, and the other day I posted a Lamar Jackson video, Ravens and Declan Doyle. Like earlier in the show they were talking about how, essentially Declan Doyle is holding this offense and Lamar more accountable. People keep confusing accountability with blame and responsibility, and that's not what accountability means in sports. And you need these players to be held accountable. Andy Reid holds Patrick Mahomes accountable, right? That's what you need accountability. And everything that I'm hearing out of Sean McVay and what they're looking to do, there's just so much more accountability. I remember when Kurt Warner was breaking down the Chargers game and he was pretty much saying like Devontae, there was, I think it was on one of the interceptions or play that he could have had Devontae, but he had to move off it because whatever it was he's not that he ran the route wrong, 'cause I believe Kurt was like, I no doubt believe that he ran the route as he was coached, but it was still done in a less than ideal way. In a way that really hurt the ability to execute that play. It's like that's accountability. Looking at that and saying, no, this is not correct. This is what we need to do. You need that accountability. It's not blame. It's not media attention, right? And so this offense needs more accountability. Not only scheme and execution and all the other things that we have discussed so many times, but having a coach that is really zoomed in. I remember when Harbaugh got to the Chargers, and I forget what player it was. Obviously the other Harbaugh, not Ravens Harbaugh. Or now Giants Harbaugh. They were just like, man, the details that we're paying attention to now are just so different. Like he was so excited because you start focusing on details that you didn't even realize that that's what you needed to do, that's what you needed to lock into, right? And so like I just am seeing such a common theme. That was the first thing that Ben Johnson did when he got to Chicago was accountability. Accountability. You have to understand where you stand, what needs to be done. And when you mess up, why did you mess up? How did you mess up? And how do you correct for it? And make no mistake about it, accountability doesn't mean also that you now just become like a drill sergeant or anything like that. It's a very nuanced relationship. It's a bit of a moving target, but people keep confusing accountability with like blame. Or again, just attention. And it's like that's not what it's about. And in a lot of ways this offense look at Fangio. Okay. Fangio is all about accountability. And famously after the Super Bowl when they won he was apparently really angry that when he took out the starters and they and Patrick Mahomes threw some touchdown he was really mad about that. And after the parade was like I want to go through film like I want to go through this. That's accountability. That is accountability. And I love it. Kyle Shanahan had a conversation. He was giving an interview. And I have the segment. I played it before in the past, but I'm not going to do that right now. But in essence he was like talking about Purdy and he's like, list. And I do all these stuff to make sure that everything is as easy as possible for Purdy. Blah 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 blah. And he goes, but if I tell him to do something and he does the opposite like I immediately will go up to him and be like, why did you do that? And he says, and if he says something smart he's like then I'll love it. I'll be really happy that it worked out, but it's just like if he says something smart like I want to know about it. It's like that's accountability. That's actually holding each other accountable because it's kind of like, oh well, I saw X and that's why I did Y. And it was like, buddy, why didn't you tell me that in the meeting room? That's accountability and also now helping the coach be accountable to a degree. But really in the other way where if Purdy doesn't say something smart in that moment he's going to be like, listen, man, I'm really happy that worked out for us, but that's wrong. That's the wrong way to go about it. That is not right. And that's a big part of accountability is recognizing when a player gets away with something and has success and it works out for them but it was the wrong move. It was the wrong play. It was the wrong throw. It was the wrong execution. And it's just like that's accountability. You want to see a beautiful example of accountability? Here was Hasselbeck talking about on the herd talking about Caleb and the accuracy and whatnot. And just listen. It's very short. And there's actually another clip that I want to show as well, but just take a listen to what he kind of says and just throw the zoomed in details that you need and this is accountability. It's not about the number. It's about accuracy. And so like when you give me like you could have a high number. I'll just tell you what it's like in a quarterback room, okay? You could have a complete completion and get a plus or a minus on your grade sheet in the quarterback room. And there's something called a runner's ball. And so it could be a completion, but if it wasn't a runner's ball, you get a minus. It's a negative. And what is a runner's ball? A runner's ball is this is how you evaluate it. If a wide receiver is running a route and he has to change his gait at all, change his running gait, that's a minus. Now there are some situations where it's a back shoulder throw and you want to put it on the 8, not the 4 and all that kind of stuff, but typically it's about being a runner's ball. So this idea of a 65% is this so even little zoomed in details like that. And listen, you're always going to have cause this is also like a pretty basic example, of course. For the most part you're always going to have things like this. But it's not always a significant emphasis. I can all but guarantee you Lamar Jackson has a great game where he throws, he throws 3 touchdowns. He's got like a 127 passer rat. ING or whatever. But he does some of the things that Matt Hasselbeck where he gets a couple minuses, I can guarantee you with Harbaugh and company it just wasn't emphasized. It wasn't emphasized. I guarantee you with Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, it's emphasized. It's the accountability factor. It's the accountability factor. I guarantee it Kevin O'Connell had no idea of who what to do from an accountability standpoint. I can get so, just even little things like that. I want to be able to find this one clip of Liam Cohen. So, this was a moment with Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence, obviously earlier on in the season last year. And, Liam is going like this, right? In his chest to be like, put it on the chest. And Trevor just goes like this. He goes, nah, whatever. I'm not listening. And like that really irked me. And Hawk will now explain what the situation was. So, just take a watch. And here, we'll explain why. Here's another one. This is the one that Liam Cohen yells at about. This is a cover 2 cloud corner and a stick. You have to dot him. So, the coach isn't wrong in saying, hey, this is rudimentary football. When you say you got to dot him. What you got to dot? So, in that route, there's 2 options. If it's zone, you flip your hips and turn because it's a cloud corner. They have to protect the guy. To run to the bad guy. You dot him meaning you hit him right here. I am not running out of this break. If it's man-to-man, I'm running out of it. He throws it like a man-to-man break like he's going to run out of it, which it makes him vulnerable because if he does, that's a hospital throw at that cloud corner. And that's why you saw Liam Cohen going, put it on his chest. Yeah, I couldn't tell what he was meaning. Like I said, everybody's culpable because Trevor Lawrence has to protect his guys with the throw cause they can't be thinking about that while also making those catches. So, yes. So, yeah, again, in essence, it's just like Trevor in that moment was not delivering the right ball to his receiver in that moment. And Liam Cohen is saying like, no, like this is what you need to do. It's like, that's a moment of accountability. That's a moment of being locked into the details rather than just looking at that saying, oh, it was an incompletion. They just couldn't connect. Cause even I with this title of this video I was like, Trevor Lawrence disconnected. Like clip really ain't like really annoyed me. Because it was a moment when I was like Trevor, like you're hanging on by a thread. Liam Cohen is legit. Like he has more power than you like you if anything you're more likely to go than Liam Cohen. And that's why in that moment like that's such an awesome coaching moment because it was in real time. It was on the field in real time. Right? Instant feedback. Instant feedback. And that's the power of having an offensive head coach like on the field there. And also just like not in the booth let alone even if it's the coordinator. It's like you're right there in that moment. But like those are examples of accountability in real time. And it's like these are the things that I'm excited about as well as obviously learning the new system and you're hearing everyone talk about it. My ladder, Lane Johnson. Like obviously not even just Jalen. And it's just like it's just so and Saquon. It's so great to see that there's just a new system in place and there really is going to be that emphasis on accountability. And it's just what's not to like about it. What's not to love about that? So, I've used the accountability line before with Jalen Hurts fans and Eagles fans and they've always responded to it well. I use it with Lamar Jackson fans and cause I just made a video where I brought up accountability cause it was Declan Doyle was talking about it earlier on, right? Let me see I'll show Lamar Jackson being challenged by new offense under Declan Doyle. Apparently cursed him out or whatever, cursed at him or something. And again, it's not about being a drill sergeant. It's not about being really hard and yelling at the players. It's not what accountability means either. A perfect example was Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen is not that type of coach where he's yelling at him or he was just saying, put it on the chest. Put it on the chest. And Trevor was like, nah. And I was like, buddy, those are the types of things that you have to be receptive to. Those are the things that you have to listen to in real time. And they to downplay that moment. I don't care what the explanation was. It's a bunch of nonsense. Because it was a moment of accountability and Trevor was like, yeah, whatever. But I think getting an A.J. Brown out of the locker room, and this is a little bit what I talk about in my other video, is it allows the accountability, it allows the coaching staff. Coaches have to have the most power. The coaches have to have the power. Not the players, not moms, not Jalen, not Josh Allen. It's the coaches have to have the power because they're the ones that hold the players accountable. They're the ones that have them locked into the details. And you need to have the coaches that actually are locked in and care about those details. And it's just that's what you need. That's what you need. And also, I think that was a really cool moment with Orlovsky and Hawk were they're both football players, they both played in the NFL, they both obviously know more ball than any of us will ever know combined. It's just a reality. Whether you think they're great players in the NFL or not, it doesn't matter. Their ball knowledge is obviously elite and special. And Orlovsky didn't even really understand what Hawk was origina. LLY saying. He was like, well, what do you mean by it? And he was using a different term. And that's why that just shows you how complicated and complex football can be. The terminology is just so different in how all of this is being discussed in any given moment. And so it's just really, really fascinating to me. And you know what? I was completely wrong. That video that I'm talking about has already posted cause I'm the way how this is going to be scheduled, it's different. So, watch the video that I posted the other day on Friday. That's how the schedule is actually going to work. It's all about Jalen Hurts being able to be in the locker room and all of that. So, I thought it was a really good conversation. So, check that out. It's already happened. It's not happening on Sunday. This video might be being posted now on Sunday. I don't know. That's the problem when I make some of these videos in the middle of the night. I'm like, I don't know when this is going to be scheduled right now. So, I apologize for that. But, yeah. It just feels like in a long time they really have someone in charge. In charge. That is what Fangio just look at Fangio. Just look at his demeanor, who he is as a human being. You know that man commands the respect. You know the players feel the accountability. You just know it. He is a person that he is the coach that you're definite. LY a little afraid of him. You without a doubt, every single player is definitely a little uncomfortable and a little afraid around him. He is definitely that energy. No question about it. And again, that's not even my favorite type of coach. It definitely works more on defense for me than offense. I've said this a million times. I think Ben Johnson is an elite coach, but I would never want to he's not the type of coach that I would want to play with. I'm definitely more of a Lee Liam Cohen style, Kevin O'Connell style. I'm at my best when it's a little bit lighter. There's still accountability. There's still hard coaching, but I don't like the pressure cooker. I want the pressure of the moment. Put me in, coach. 5 seconds to go. 3rd and long, final play. I want the ball. Let's go. But, I need my coach to give me the room to breathe. I need my coach to be able to allow me to make mistakes, take chances. I need to not feel that, he's bearing down over my shoulder. That's just me personally. Not everyone is like that, of course. But, I'm just saying for me. Kevin Patullo didn't have that. And then again, remember, even a Kellen Moore he wasn't coming into that locker room with a lot of power. He wasn't coming into that locker room with a lot of I'm the guy here. I'm the play caller. I'm the coach. I'm the man. He didn't really have that. You know. He had been fired now multiple times. People were questioning again. I loved Kellen Moore coming to Philly, but people were genuinely questioning like, who is Kellen Moore? Is he really going to be that successful? Right? Like, nobody was championing that as like this amazing hire. So, it's not like he just walks into the room and everyone's like, yo, that's Kellen Moore. Yo, that's KM. Like, he's about to get us. Like, let's go. That wasn't his energy, right? You could already see that with Sean Mannion and Mylod being like, this man is a genius. Like, this man is a mad genius. He's like, if you take the smartest coaches in the NFL and you put them in a room, like it's going to be Sean Mannion. Right? Like that is the respect right off the bat of being like, listen, this guy knows what he's talking about. When he talks, you listen. Right? When he talks, you listen. There are definitely certain coaches that when they talk, you listen. There's other coaches that when they talk, you're like kind of listening. You're like, yeah, you're paying attention. But, it's just not quite the same. Not quite the same. And so had that with Shane Steichen. You again, Kellen Moore was obviously really successful, and I think he's a great NFL mind and really I'm excited to see what he's is able to continue to do with New Orleans. But, that's part of a building process in my mind, and I don't think he had that necessor. With in Philly. And so that's why I'm excited to see that presence with Sean Mannion, cause I think it'll mirror more closely to that of Shane Steichen more than anything. Not the system itself, but in terms of the ability to really structure the offense as he sees fit. Right now, Sean McVay has all the power offensive like he's got all the power and every single player knows it. Every single player knows it. They're not looking anywhere else. They're not looking at another player to be like, do you like this? Is this good? Like right now we've been one of the problems with having A.J. Brown there. They'd be like, what does A.J. think about this? And it's like it doesn't matter what A.J. thinks about this. 1, because he's not here, and 2, it's because this is you're here to execute the vision of the coach. You're here to trust the coach and execute their vision. That is the plan. Kellen Moore was there to execute the vision of the Philadelphia Eagles and their philosophy and their O-line and their run game, right? Like they were there to execute the vision of the talent of the players that they had. Shane Steichen was tasked with do this, right? Like make this offense go. And there was a lot more there, right? I think also Shane Steichen is also just an awesome play caller itself. I think he has a great feel for just the art of play calling, which really is its own talent. You can be honestly really bad at game manage. Well, I guess you couldn't be bad at game manage, but you could be bad at game plans and play designs, but you could be an elite play caller. You could be like, I'm not really good at any of the other stuff, but like I know how to feel out a game throughout the course of it. Like I know how to script out some plays like let's go. Like I know how to make adjustments. So it's all different tools, all different skill sets. And that's the one thing, right? Sean McVay could be great at all this type of stuff and be a really bad at play calling. Like that is technically a possibility. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully not, but that door is definitely open, right? Like it is for sure, it is for sure open, unfortunately. So, that is still a wait and see, and that is the risk with an inexperienced play caller, but I still remain really, really optimistic, and I'm just, clearly, definitely on this accountability kick, especially because I just see all the pushback. Go to that Ravens video. You don't even got to watch the video. I mean, definitely watch the video if you want. I would appreciate it, but just read the comments and see the pushback that the Ravens fans give. And there's just such confusion. Even the one comment that I saw where someone said, just give Lamar a great O-line and watch what happens. And it's like they had an elite top O-line in 23 and 24 and they didn't win the Super Bowl. Why? Because it takes more than that. Why? They had zero accountability in 2023. It was a joke. The fouls that they had in that AFC Championship game alone is a joke. In 2024, they were leading the NFL in fouls again in, flags a game as well as, penalties a game as well as, penalty yards, right? So, it's just like I don't want to hear it. Like, it's just so that's the confusion. That's the confusion. It's not, oh, just give Patrick Mahomes some receivers and a run game and watch. It's like that's not how this works. That's not how football works. So, I really believe there's a new era, new aura in Philly, in this Eagles locker room, and it's just I find it incredibly exciting. Find it incredibly, and looking at Sean Mannion's personality as well when I reference some of these other coaches that I would like to play for, that I think that they would bring out the best version of me, just in terms of Sean Mannion's demeanor and his approach, like I put him there as well. And I think that works well in Philly. I think that works well tremendously with the existing culture and the players that are there. So, yeah, man. Safe to say I am quite optimistic. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Sean Mannion, accountable? ITY, coaching, getting comfortable in the new offense, paying attention to details. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. We'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.